Hi, you're welcome to another episode of Let's Do Life with Atilola. I am very excited once again to have you joining me on this video, on this channel, on this episode. And before we go on, you know what to do. Click the subscribe button below and subscribe to my channel for some wholesome content on parenting, on travels, on health, on fitness, on spoken word, on art, on business, on everything. This is a lifestyle channel and I would love to have you join me here. So today I'm going to be talking about the second part of my homeschooling journey. You know, the mode of homeschooling we do, my convictions, and so many things about homeschooling. And then next week I'm going to be talking about the advantages homeschooling has over traditional schooling system. Trust me, there are a lot of advantages that you can also tap into if it's your thing. Okay, so what mode of homeschooling do we use in my house? I don't teach my children because, as I said, I have a job. Even though I work from home a lot, I also have a factory, and 1 or 2 times I need to move around. But the truth is I have a job, and I have more than one job, a major job and some other things that I do, and I cannot homeschool my children. So what we did was we got professional teachers to homeschool the children. I arrange, or the teachers and I, we arrange the curriculum, or they come up with the curriculum. I look at it, I vet it, and then we go on. And also we check it from time to time, but because of the way my kids learn, they even go faster than the curriculum, and then we have to, we are running after the kids and we are catching up with them. So we got professional teachers. The teachers that actually teach my children now are actually the ones they were teaching in the school that they used to attend, or that my first child used to attend. So no, we didn't go to the school to poach teachers or anything, but those teachers actually left the school and then were recommended to us by some other people, and then they are teaching my kids full time. And the interesting fact is that there are many teachers that I know that are out there that will even benefit from homeschooling right now than traditional schooling, for parents who cannot be the one to homeschool their kids by themselves. And to be honest, is an untapped market. If we have one agent or somebody that can round up teachers that don't go to school, and good teachers, not just good teachers, because when the teacher is bad, it's also going to show. The teacher cannot homeschool because it's going to show, because that's the only teacher that will be teaching the child, and it's going to show that this teacher is not a good teacher. So yeah, that's basically the kind of homeschooling I do, and I'm very convinced that right now I'm taking the right decision to homeschool my children. Like, I've never been so convinced about anything in my life the way I'm convinced about this, because I see the difference between these children and other children when they go out. Like, the results are so glaring. It's so obvious that these things, I could not have gleaned this kind of juice out of these children if they were in traditional school. So I'm convinced we are doing the right thing, and I'm going with my convictions, and we are doing the homeschooling thing. Now, how do we augment extracurricular activities? The thing about one of the downsides of homeschooling is that you are not exposed to as much extracurricular activities as you could have been exposed to if you were in the traditional schooling system. So you have to come up with your own extracurricular activities. Like my children, they are filled with extracurricular activities. Remember, I designed the curriculum for my kids. The schools, the ones they do in the morning, the school one is designed by the teachers, which I agree with or I disagree with, but I've never had any disagreement with them. But once the teachers go, there are other things that they do until 7 p.m. when they go to bed, right? And that one is designed by me. Like, everything is designed. So that's where I now fix all the extracurricular activities in. So for example, now, because of my children's age, my children are now 3 and 4 years old. They are not yet playing football, but I think they are going to be playing football very soon, because one of the things that my husband and I are also supposed to now, what we are doing is piano, and I'm going to put the like the things my son does with piano. I'm going to put it somewhere here and we'll go on. My son plays piano real good, and I know that he will never have been able to play such as in piano that good if he were in school. I don't even think he would have been playing piano if he were in school. And another thing, the piano teacher that is teaching my son is the one that used to teach the children when they were like, he's gotten from my son's school. So like we didn't go far and wide to drop these resources. These resources are all around us. And guess what? The piano teacher doesn't even teach my son's age in the school. It teaches like the secondary school, the higher ones, and it teaches them, you know, in groups. But right now it's just teaching my son one-on-one. And when my son plays at 4 years old, there is no way. Even some teenagers are not playing that kind of piano. They're not playing what my son is playing. So he's doing piano, and they were doing swimming before, but I stopped them from taking swimming lessons because they were just playing inside the water. They were just swimming. They were swimming well and swimming with floaters, but they were not professional swimmers or anything. They were just playing in the water, and I have to pay for that kind of swimming lessons. So I stopped them, and they will probably go sometime when they are older. Right now they do choreography, which I use YouTube. I have a YouTube channel where they learn all the choreography. They do music, which I have a YouTube where they learn all that, apart from the piano, which both of them are already learning. I have I have a music channel music channels where they just learn. They are still too young for the intense extracurricular activities like, you know, wrestling, saxophone. They are still too young for such intense, but the few ones that they do it and well. I'm very intentional on brain activities. So they play the car in tracks. They play with Legos to build they have some engineering toys and everything that they help develop their brain function. For now, that is what we need. Later we are going to go into more intense extracurricular activities, which I'll try to keep bringing. But the next one I want to do is the football. Now my kids, what I've been able to see result, my children, and I kid you not, my son just clocked 3 2 weeks ago. He's reading. When I mean he's reading full sentences. He's reading books. I could never have achieved this. Yes, I know that there's also the original genius that comes with the child. You get involved in my own children's case, but I know that if my child were going to a traditional school, they would have drawn him back because he is far ahead. They would have drawn him back so they could match him with other children, and it wouldn't have been this good. He wouldn't have been this good. So let's even give that to the homeschooling method, and I'm very happy that I went with that. Now, is homeschooling for you? The truth is, right now, with the way things are, homeschooling is not for everybody. Number one, if you are a stay-at-home mom, it's easier for you to be a homeschooling teacher than if you were a working mother, because many cases the mothers are the ones always homeschooling. I've seen a few cases where it's the father that was homeschooling, but the child was much younger, like my children's age. I don't know about older children where the father was the one homeschooling. I'm sure there are, but I don't know of. So for stay-at-home mothers, it's easier for them to do the homeschooling thing. Also, for women who work from home, they work but they don't go to work physically. They can also homeschool themselves. The way my own is that I'm working. I'm not the one homeschooling, but I have teachers that come to the house homeschooling. Now, why I say it's not for everyone is because that in many cases both parents are working, and then the children go to school, they come home, they meet a childminder, they meet a nanny, they meet a babysitter or a relative. In such cases, homeschooling will be harder. It will be more difficult because there's nobody to monitor, there's nobody to control, there's nobody to even find out. It's not something you just want to leave to a third party to just do all the time without the input of the parent. Because even if I'm working, I have a major input. Even when the teachers go, there's still a program that I follow with the nanny, and they follow. There's something they are doing 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 at 7 p.m. So I've been able to incorporate that with my nanny, and then we run the program. So it's a whole program that it might not be easy for you to run if you and your spouse are working. So that's why I believe that effective homeschooling is not for everyone. And then lastly, what I would like to say in this episode is that the home environment matters. Remember, one of the reasons why a lot of people homeschool is because they want to be the primary influencer of their kids. They want to be able to influence the environment and everything. So imagine if your home is a toxic home, and that's the primary environment for homeschooling the child. You might not get the advantages of homeschooling. Like if it's a toxic environment, maybe there's tension in the house all the time, maybe where there's domestic abuse, there's abuse, and that is the only environment the child is all the time. Remember, this child is not going to school. You might not get the good from homeschooling, or maybe you are not in the house. Because I remember somebody calling me saying she is not in the house. She wants to take her child to her mother's house to be homeschooling. That's not her own environment. She has no control over what goes on in her own environment, and she wants maybe a teacher or the mother or somebody to be homeschooling the child in the mother's environment. You have to be sure that the environment is right. That's all I'm saying, because the mother's environment can even be better than her own environment. We can never say, but whatever environment, the homeschooling environment matters. Like in our house, it's just me, the teachers, the nanny. I don't like calling my nanny a nanny, because she is very involved in the homeschooling thing, because she is there with the teachers all through. Like during the homeschooling process, nobody disturbs the nanny. The nanny is with they are all doing the learning together, and then when they go, the teachers go, and later the nanny will take over, and then when they are done, then they'll bring it to me, then I will also inspect and everything. So it's a whole ecosystem. Like I can even travel out of my house for 1 to 2 months, and the ecosystem is running, like the system is running like clockwork, because we have all built it in, and anybody that is educated and understands the system can run the system. We have built it in so good like that. So that's the homeschooling system we have developed in my house. But the environment matters, because there's also the toys, the educational toys, the books, the Bibles, everything works. There's the whole routine. So whether it's you that is homeschooling, like that woman that I talked about in the first episode that scared me, or whether it's primarily other people, there's a whole system that works. And that homeschooling system, that homeschooling environment is very important to get the best out of that child, because is the system that also brings out the child from the school. So the homeschooling system too has to work. So I hope you have been able to enjoy or get the meat about what I'm talking about in this episode. I'm going to be talking about so many advantages of homeschooling over traditional schooling in the next and final episode of this homeschooling journey. See you, but before you go, you know what to do. Click the subscribe button so that you will get information when next I release new videos. And not only the subscribe button, notification bell, because apart from the information, you also need notification that the video has been released. And comment, like, ask questions, and share. So many people need this information. Please and please share. Bye.